I feel like Bushi is trying to catch up on the number of like non-reveals they did during Lyrical Monastery 2. They're just dumping a bunch of cards on us and a bunch of new mechanics. It's actually pretty cool. Every week there's at least a lot of cards to talk about. But this week they said new heal effects, well, new trigger effects at least, which are heals. That will be releasing in set 5. And then they're releasing Dragonic Overlord The End, as well as the new ride line, the new Dual Nation ride line Tegria. So let's kind of take a look at it. First, we have some promos, right? This is for V and P. So this is a Magus, a cubic Magus. So act Vanguard Circle, Rearguard Circle once per turn. Put one other Rearguards with Magus in its card name into your soul. Look at the top 2 cards of your deck. Return them to the top of your deck in any order and draw a card. That's pretty cool. And the second one is also a Vanguard and Rearguard Circle effect. At the end of the battle of this unit attack, if 6 or more units with Magus in its card name cost Counterblast 1 and stand this unit. So I guess it's pretty cool, nice little restander, but also gets to kind of top deck check, which is nice. And the second PR we're actually getting is auto. When this unit is placed on the Vanguard Circle or Rearguard Circle, you may choose one normal unit with which in its card name from your drop and put it on the bottom of your deck. If you did not put and your opponent has 3 or less cards in the drop, your opponent discards the top 3 cards. This is pretty cool. It's like mill, but this is for Shadow Paladin. So, you know, a lot of the milling engine has been in Genesis. No, Shadow's like a bit weird for that. Then the second effect is Act Rearguard Circle. If you have a Vanguard with which in its card name, calls it rest this unit, your opponent chooses 2 grade 0 units from their drop and call them to the Rearguard Circle with grade 1 or greater units on them. So basically it's witch support from like Clan Collection, which they really need support for, but I don't think it's going to do much. This is for PR as well. So yeah, this is Dana, by the way. And then they're going to release a bunch of PRs for D as well. And so this is just for Dragon Empire. When your opponent's Rearguard is retired during a turn, soul plus 1, and this unit gets power plus 5,000. Very, very simple. Then this one's a grade 3 Dark States. When this unit attacks, if you're in Final Rush, counter plus 1, soul charge 1. Choose one of your units and it gets power 10k until the end of turn. This might be okay because, like, you know, Bruce kind of needs power, but it requires counter blast 1, so this is really bad. Then this one is auto. When this unit intercepts, discard a card from your hand. Look at the top 2 cards of your deck and call each of them to the Guardian Circle or discard them. That's pretty cool. This one actually turns like 1 card into 2 cards to like intercept with, which is kind of nice. People point out this is pretty good in Zorga because you can call this for free, and then your power lines hit big anyway from just like power pumps from orders. And then you can like intercept them and like get rid of key cards, and then, you know, possibly mill a bunch too. But you could like mill 2 orders, and you just get like, you discarded like maybe a shield for like 2 non-shields. So it's still a bit weird. It's still a bit weird. Nothing. The good thing is, like, none of these PRs are so game breaking that you need to get them, right? Maybe. Now here's the first. They're actually releasing 2 types of heals, right? So first is here's an example of it. This one's called Stealth Fiend Amavira. When this unit is placed on the Guardian Circle, if your opponent's attacking unit has attacked 2 or more times this turn, this unit gets shield plus 15,000 until the end of that battle. So this only has 10k shield, right? Only 10k shield. You have to keep that in mind. But like, let's say against Restanders, this will get 50, like this becomes 25k shield, right? The second heal that we're also getting is, this was Cure Flare Draco Kid. When this unit is put on the Guardian Circle, if the attack's unit's critical is 2 or greater, and its critical is increased by an ability other than trigger effects, or its original critical is 2 or greater, this unit gets shield plus 15,000 until the end of turn. So if you're facing against something like Dungaree, which has 2 like normal shield, like normal crit 2s, or it's like Force 2 is like gives it a 2 crit, then this will become a 25k shield. But again, it's like 10k shield. It's 10k shield, so it's actually weaker. These are weaker than the normal heals, but in metagames where certain things happen a lot, then this will benefit you by giving you more shield. But I think they suck really, really hard. Simply because, like, let's say the critical is 2 or greater. This one, in the current metagame, let's think about it, right? So, for now, against a 10 Prism Seraph Snow, this is useful, but in every other situation in that matchup, this is just not very good. It's just weaker shield. Against a Barrow Magnus that gets a crit, that's pretty good, right? That's nice. Against, like, a 3 Meteor Gravidia, this is okay, but against a 5 Meteor Gravidia, you're taking a huge risk by not perfect guarding. So I don't know, like in a way, this is the usage of this seems pretty bad. Then you think about like other great like decks currently. So you have Stoicheia, for example, Magnolia. This is useless against Stoicheia pretty much. You're actually like losing yourself because like it doesn't gain anything. Then like the double restand does, again, useless against Stoicheia. And then that'll only probably be useful against Dragonic Overlord for the restander. Yeah, off the top of my head, like Bruce. Okay, Bruce. This is like both of these, I guess, can be pretty good against Bruce because one, Bruce restands, but then because of like I think Brian, it also gets a crit 2 naturally. So this is pretty good. Pandemonium Tactics gives it a crit 2. But yeah, that's only Bruce, right? That's only Bruce. Oh, bear in mind this first none of these ones need to really work for the Vanguard. So on rearguard attacks, they work as well. So this one will be pretty decent against like a Bastion unit that has restanded. But again, right, every other situation, this is a 10k shield versus a 15k shield. And this could become a 25k shield, but it's still very, very situational and when this pop comes up. So personally, I think these are also double R's, by the way, but I personally think these heals just aren't that good. They're not that good. They don't have as much utility as the draws, the fronts, and the soul crits that we've gotten. It's just, I don't know. I feel like having a consistent 15k shield is just better than having maybe it's a 25k shield when something specific happens, but when I'm playing against a matchup where I didn't like take these 4, these are just effectively worse, right? Just huge worse. But they did kind of show you some different pictures, right? So here's the Dark States one, here's the Brandgate one, here's the Keter one, and here's the Stoicheia one. These are all for the plus. These are all for the double attack. I think double attack. Yeah, they didn't show the crit one, so yeah, that's kind of it. They look pretty cool. It looks kind of scuffed on my kind of picture here. So unfortunately, how about do this? Yeah, it looks slightly better. Yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, that's pretty much it. Moving on, let's talk about stuff. So, Knight of Integrity. Lots of integrity there. Tegria, right? So this is just your average starter for the Tegria ride line. Then here we go. Beneath the Brilliant Light, Tegria. Yes. Beneath it, eh? When this unit is ruled upon by harsh training Tegria, reveal the top card of your deck, and if it is grade 2 or less unit, you may call it to the rearguard circle as rest. And yeah, she's called Tegria, like T-H-E in English, but then in the Japanese version, she's called Tegria. So I guess like Tegria for integrity, right? Yeah. Now here's the harsh training Tegria. Auto when this unit is rid upon by a grade 3 with Tegria in its card name. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Choose up to 1 card with Tegria or Maple in its card name from among the reveal it and put it into your hand. All right, bear in mind there's a lot of that glitter effect as well, or the Fire Regulus or whatever. We kind of already know that these right line, but yeah. So this kind of nice. Kind of gets you like a top 5 check. So pretty cool. And now comes the grade 3. So one who walks the path of light, Tegria. First effect is a continuous effect. The normal ride from hand of a unit with Tegria in its different card name from this unit on this unit also becomes a persona ride. So that is worded really, really strangely and weirdly, but basically what it means that if you ride from hand another Tegria unit that is a different name from her onto her, it becomes a persona ride. Basically, every persona. If you're riding a Tegria grade 3, you're getting a persona ride. That's pretty much it. Long story short, right? Second effect is act Vanguard Circle once per turn, counterblast 1. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Choose up to 1 grade 2 or less unit card from among them. Call it to the rearguard circle and shuffle your deck. If one who blooms in the dark Tegria is in your soul, choose up to 2 instead of 1. Okay, so you get to call 1, but if you have the other Tegria, you get to call 2. And then the last effect is auto Vanguard Circle. At the end of the battle that this unit attacks, if this unit was placed by riding from one who blooms in the dark Tegria this turn, discard a card from your hand, choose one of your rearguards and stand it. Okay, so it's basically like a Bastion effect if you ride on top of the dark Tegria, right? And then let's kind of look at the Dark Tegria here as well. So this is a much more angrier Tegria, but yeah, just as stacked in terms of card effects, right? So this is one who blooms in the Dark Tegria as well. Continuous. The normal ride from hand of a unit with Tegria, blah, 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 blah. So it's basically the same thing as the previous one. If you, when another Tegria grade 3 rides on top of this, it will be a Persona ride. Regardless if she's her or she's not her, right? So far, there's only 2 Tegria grade 3s. Everything's going to be a Persona ride, okay? Second effect is act Vanguard Circle once per turn. Retire 2 of your grade 2 or less rearguards. Choose one of your opponent's rearguards and retire it. If one who walks the path of light Tegria is in your soul, retire all of your opponent's rearguards in the same column as the chosen unit. So again, it's like the previous one, except you're getting a retire effect instead, as long as you have like the light Tegria in soul. So you wanna have both of them in soul to be able to like get the maximum value of the act effect first, right? And then the last effect is an auto effect, Vanguard Circle once per turn. At the end of the battle that this unit attacked, if this unit was placed by riding from one who walks the path of light Tegria this turn, counterblast 1 and discard a card from your hand, stand this unit, and it gets drive -1 until the end of the turn. So basically, the light Tegria makes a field, and then stands other units. The Dark Tegria is much more selfish. She sacrifices things to kill things and then stands only herself. Now, I have to say, like, restanding is pretty good, right? Restanding is pretty good, but the first effect I'm not a huge fan of because you have to retire things for, like, retiring 1 or at maximum value 2, right? Well, making a field is just better because it's just free value. But, just standing a rearguard is not as cool as standing a Vanguard. But, it's still 4 attack, so overall, you have to pick which Tegria to go first. You probably put the light one just because it creates a field. But apart from that, the whole idea of the deck is that you're just riding the other Tegria on top of the other Tegria to be able to get the second effect off to be able to do 4 attacks, right? So that's pretty cool. That's a nice effect. And then the last card is Atrocious Moth Girl Maple. So, auto drop zone. When your grade 3 or greater Vanguard is placed during the ride phase, if you do not have a unit with Maple in its card name, you may call this card to the rearguard circle. If there are 2 copies of this card in drop, you can only call 1. So this is basically trying to mitigate your cost, at least for some of your effects. This can be like a nice discard for the ride, for your ride deck as well, right? So overall, this is like the nice engine that kind of makes it work better, especially since that Dark Tegria requires you to retire 2. If one of them's a Moth Girl, good times, right? Good times. And then the glitter effect is with the Tegria. It doesn't matter like which Tegria, right? Auto rearguard circle at the end of the battle phase that this unit attacked, soul blast 1 or more cards. Choose a card from your soul of the same grade as the sum of the grade of cards that you soul blasted for this cost. Put it into your hand and put this unit into your soul. So ideally, like, the whole point of Tegria is riding the other Tegria. That gets pretty clunky because sometimes you just don't have the other one. But if you have the other one in soul, you can soul blast a bunch of cards to be able to get that other Tegria from soul for your next turn. And then, this goes into soul. And this is kind of nice because this also becomes like a grade 2. So you only need a soul blast a grade 2 and a 1 to be able to get the effect. But then later on, you probably have so many grade 3 Tegrias in your soul, they're just soul blasting like 1 Tegria to get the other Tegria, to be able to continue Tegrating, blah, 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 right? So that's pretty nice. So overall, I think this engine actually looks pretty nice. Although it sounds a bit clunky on paper, the art is very good. And you can really tell like the nice personality of the cards from just the art and the effects alone, right? Apart from that, less memes. This is actually looks like one of the strongest effects, or strongest ride lines at least from set 5, which is pretty refreshing. Leave it at that. Anyway, we got some Dragonic Overlords as well. So this is Burning Horn Dragon. When this unit is placed on the rearguard circle, counterblast 1, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 with Overlord in its card name, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. If you did not reveal a card, countercharge 1. So, that's pretty cool. Top 7 checks usually are very annoying. But at least you refund the cost if you don't get it. Right, cool. And the second effect is Rearguard Circle, Auto Rearguard Circle. When your Vanguard with Overlord and its card name attacks, this unit gets power plus 5,000 into the end of turn. So this is not once per turn, but I'm assuming your Overlord is going to attack twice. So this will pretty much get plus 10k, right? And then sometimes you get a over trigger, and then you get plus 15k. So cool. And then lastly, we have Dragonic Overlord at the end. Continuous Vanguard Circle effects. during your turn, if your soul has a Dragonic Overlord, this unit's drive cannot decrease from card effects, and it gets power plus 5,000 until the end of, well, just power plus 5,000. But this is only during your turn, so you're not sitting on 18k body on your opponent's turn, right? It doesn't happen. Second effect is auto Vanguard circle once per turn. At the end of the battle that this unit attacked, counterblast 1 and discard 2 cards from your hand. Stand this unit and it gets drive -1 until the end of turn. So ideally, you ride the Dragonic Overlord first, and then on turn 4 you ride this. Unfortunately, you don't get a Persona ride, but you know, at least you're hitting for 18k. And then you get like Twin Drive twice, right? Twin Drive twice. That's that. Very, very simple effect. It's what Dragonic Overlord kind of does. Unfortunately, you don't like plus from his effect, unlike before. But at the same time, you're only counterblasting 1 for his effect, so I guess it's a bit of a plus and minus. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Very simple effect. It restands the Vanguard. Basically, that's what Dragonic Overlord has been doing for the last 10 years. It's pretty much just doing the same thing overall. So that's it. That is all the cards revealed today. Lots of cards. A lot of cards. I really like the Tegria ride line because she looks good. Dragonic Overlord, I know people say it looks pretty boring, but at the same time, hey, what were you thinking? Did you think this will be like a 20k body or something? Do you think it's going to restand like 25 times? Or like deal like 5 damage? Or get like 6 crits? I don't know. I feel like so far the cross-ride effects have been pretty tame. In terms of like we expected maybe gaining a bit more power, but so far just the other way around where like they realized how dirty 13k bodies, like slightly above average power levels defensively were before. They really toned that part down and gave like different cross-ride effects again instead, which I think is okay. It's okay, right? Yeah, apart from that, seems pretty good. Today's reveals were really nice, I have to say, and let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow, right? Bye.